In your head and move. Hey, do you have me, Gogi?
We have you, and much better. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure to talk to everyone today. I wanted to talk specifically about for your audience about the EMP DIY device and the greater weapons paradigm that it exists in.
Okay, can you start first with? I wanted to ask you questions so we'll get to know you a little bit here, and then I'll ask you about the paradigm that you see. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So just to get to know who Andrew is, Andrew, you were young. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Geez. The earliest thing I remember was an archaeologist. Watched a lot of Indiana Jones films. But
okay.
Realistically, yeah, I really didn't want to. I really didn't care. I just wanted to experience life.
Okay. But an archaeologist, that's very, very deep. That's going digging and finding and exploring things. So, and here you are.
It was Indiana Jones, though, to be honest.
All right. And I also want to, at some point, did you realize that you were being targeted?
When I realized it would have been somewhere November of 2016, right around there. But, you don't really just step into it immediately. It's like you don't want to believe it. So I didn't know definitively until Easter of 2017. But I knew November of 2016 something awful was happening. And I knew before that I had put myself on a short list of some bad people back in 2015, the summer of it.
Okay. All right. So, and then here you wanted to, and you began to search and try to figure out what was going on, how things worked electronically, and came up with some, well, not that you invented it, but you also looked at some of the solutions, and that's what we want to look at today. But your perspective on the greater paradigm, I found very interesting, and it kind of pulled things to me because people have different perspectives of how this happens, how we're and you put it all together when you say the greater paradigm. So I'd love you to share with the Jamsters, and then we certainly want to talk about the solution because it's so doable. Now, a few people, we're going to bring these things out to the public.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely need to get the word out because we're all being affected on some level. And with how I figured it out was that when this first started for me in a way that was undeniable, which would have been that September, October, of 2016, I had just got out of fire season where I was fighting fire with the Darrington Ranger District, like the intro said. And I moved into an apartment, and within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that, I had full-blown what people call as Morgellons. And through those harrowing months, when you first have Morgellons, when you get it, which later, well, I'll just say it right now, that's nanobots and a nanomachinery infection. With inside the body, and the nanobots are outside the body. But when you first have it, you don't understand that, and you look to the more plausible solutions because we've been taught this great fallacy that Occam's razor is usually correct. The simplest answer is usually correct. So I moved through all of the biological diseases very quickly. And what I found was that there was a Lyme's weapon contained within whatever I had. It wasn't just Lyme's because the people with just Lyme's didn't present the same symptoms. So over the course of the next up till present day, I have been researching genetically modified organisms and how those came to be in people through diseases that are commonly found, and specifically through what targeted individuals are experiencing. And it was from that angle that I found this synthetic biology, nanotechnology tied to it, and then in myself, and then found all the research to validate what was going on within my body, and then took that same idea and used it on other targets to make them better, right? And it's not, we'll get to that in a second. It's got to do with deconstructing the nanotechnologies inside of our body and why detoxing is always helpful for every target individual and what these heavy metals are doing in our bodies. So once I figured out that there is nanotechnology in every targeted individual, including myself, and how to deconstruct it, I was trying to figure out how the directed energy weapons were accessing it. Because the directed energy weapons, very much part of this, are hitting this nanotechnology and causing more or less stray voltages to go through our body. And I found that to be perplexing, because it's like, how and when? How do these weapon systems access the nanotechnologies, and when do the nanotechnologies get in place to be accessed? That didn't make sense to me. At the same time, the wireless body area network and the mesh network conversation was really taking off, and it led me down that research where I found that this was very much a thing people had been working on for a very long time. And what they had been doing is they had making what I call a Russian doll disease, which is a genetically modified organism with a genetically modified organism inside of it, and so forth and so forth and so forth, just like a Russian doll. It's many diseases contained within this thing. And at the core of all of it is nanotechnology. So this genetically modified organism, it's at the it's by Clifford Carnicombe of carnicombe-institute.org. He's been researching this for 25 years. He was the first one to give it a name to be referenced. He called it cross-domain bacteria. And the reason he called it cross-domain bacteria is because it's actually over protozoa, bacteria, and eukarya. Might be messing that up. But anyways, it's over the 3 domains of life, and which means that's not in nature naturally. This was not nature naturally. This was designed in a lab. And this cross-domain bacteria, it's the same thing that's found in Morgellons patients. It's the same thing that's found in the vaccines, the COVID, post-COVID vaccines, and probably the flu vaccines a few years before that. I think there's some research to prove that's true. It's been found, I say chemtrails already, that's probably the biggest one. It's been found in, quote, smart dust. It's been found in McDonald's foods, corporate food in general. It's been found in all sorts of clothing, polyester, nylon clothing that you buy from Walmart, and so forth. It's been found in many things in many different forms. But like I said, it's this synthetic biology that unfolds in your body, cultivates in your body to grow and construct nanomachinery. Okay, so that's happening now in 2025. That's happening in 99% of the public in the Western sphere. So from Germany over, and I don't know, probably more, going east, but I just don't know about that. And I've never spent any time. And I know China, for example, has huge problem with this, but I just don't know exactly what that problem is in the population. I would assume very high, though. That would be an assumption. But back to targeted individuals and why this is relevant is because it's growing in you. And you have been, at some points of your targeting, you've been implanted. And I know that's a hard bridge to cross for a lot of people, but these implants are very, very small, and they can be shot into you from a distance. And that's to say nothing about the break-ins that most of us experience or did experience early on in the middle of the night. So just throwing that aside, these can be shot into you while you're in public. They're very, very small, smaller than a size of hair. When it hits you, it feels like a splinter a little bit when you get shot with these things. And you have the average target is covered in them. Okay, so these implants are working as nodes in the nanomachinery mesh network. Okay, and they can be accessed. The implants can be accessed externally with directed energy weapons. Once these implants are triggered, for lack of a better term, by these directed energy weapons, it sends stray voltages down this artificial nervous system that more or less is the world's most designed parasite. Okay, so the way these nanotechnologies proliferate in the body is they create these chains of polymers. And they're vinyl and plastic compounds primarily, but what we're talking about, again, is a Russian doll disease. So there's many chimeric forms of it within the body and outside of the body. This polymer, it makes a channel of polarization. And when you trigger one implant and you trigger another implant or a succession of them, what you can do is you can cause, and the nanotechnology is in these areas proliferated, you can cause a cacophony of reactions within a body, creating, and if you do this long enough, you can create chronic illness, disease, and death. And that's what's going on. The targeted individuals are the beta test, and it's a little bit farther than the beta test, but they still need implants to make this technology reliably work. And to get it past the implant stage into the AI technocracy that they're aiming for, that's the fourth industrial revolution that Charles Schwab and many other people have talked about, that it will be within you. This is what they're talking about, these nanotechnologies. To get it to that point, they need targeted individuals to be tortured to death, and they need the data ledgers for it so that they can grow these nanotechnologies remotely in people's body using directed energy weapons that are using security devices to find the points on a person's body to send these low voltage impulses to grow the nanotechnology in specific places. Does that make sense?
It certainly does. I could listen to you talk all night. Let me stop. No, it makes sense. It's well said. So I want you to back up for 1 minute. I just have a question in the back, and then we'll pull it forward and we'll talk about the solution. Because, certainly it is a scary thing. But when you said that you realized you had Morgellons, what were your symptoms? And that is so that if someone else is experiencing the same symptoms, they'll know that it is indeed Morgellons. And I do want to add something with the implants, that the implants can be not only, it can be, they can implant you in different ways. Like it could be a procedure that you go through, where you're under anesthesia and they implant you. It could be in the dentist's office. There's so many different ways that they can implant you, and they have since created a policy that kind of covers it, which is what the Jesse Beltran petition is about, which is fighting against, which in 2024 we read about it as an FDA ruling, that if the subject or the patient would receive, it would be minimal risk to the subject but highly beneficial to the public to be in a study, that they can include you in a study without your consent and without your permission. So that may include implants as well. So anyway, but that's what the petition is about, fighting against that. But so that's for the implants. But can you answer the question about the Morgellons? And then let's try to move to the solution, the things that you have come up with or you embraced.
The Morgellons was pretty, like looking back, it's really obvious, but when you're going through it, it's kind of hard to tell. When you first get a counterintelligence team put on you, right? Because we talked about gang stalking, but gang stalking is a term that was proliferated by the people responsible for these crimes so that we wouldn't be able to talk about this accurately. And there's informants, there's counterintelligence teams, and there is, every level of informant, right? We've got the tweakers, and then you've got your local fireman, whatever, or city employee or whatever, it's everything in between. I had a counterintelligence team implant a mattress that I had bought with bugs that bit me. When these bugs bit me, they transmitted this nanotechnology package. Because if you remember correctly, when I was talking, I said Lyme's disease. And that's why I started with the Lyme's disease. It's because I had these bugs bite me that were put on this mattress by this counterintelligence team. And the reason they do that is to just poisoning my food is so they have plausible deniability. And plus, that's why I said counterintelligence. Because that's what that is. It counters your intelligence. And if you think about that these human traffickers are mismanaged counterintelligence teams, it'll really, really help you understand what's going on. And that is really usually the case. They're mostly ex-military. They're getting contracted through the DHS, the FBI. So anyways, the counterintelligence operation was to implant my mattress with this biting insect. And once it bit me, within 6 weeks, I had a thick plaque on my skin that itched uncontrollably and physically hurt and caused lesions all over my body. And the reason they did this to me versus, they do this to a lot of targets, not specifically the counterintelligence operation, but the Morgellons, the extreme amount of nanobots with the heavy dose of the disease, however they can get it in. They do this in particular to people that have good habits. And I had very, very good habits. I still do to some degree because I was a wildland firefighter. And that day-to-day of a wildland firefighter is more or less the same as a professional athlete. You train, you eat right, and you maintain yourself. So
okay,
they had to.
I got you.
They had to jam the body up with the disease so the nanotechnology would stick. Because I was getting hit with directed energy weapons before that, but the nanotechnology, I was, through good habits, just shedding constantly. So it was never getting to, I was detoxing. It was never getting to a point to be effective.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm sure there may be questions about the paradigm itself, about how things work. But for the sake of time, let's talk a little bit about the solution, because this solution, I have a few people now that are working on pulling together the item that you're going to speak about. And I do want to do it on a larger scale, so I'll talk to you about that after.
Okay. Mm-hmm. By the grace of God that we are here now with this understanding and with this solution. But the James Shin, a target about 5 years ago, figured out a way to make a DIY electromagnetic pulse device. This pulse device will destroy the functionality of the implants contained within your body. It's you take a stun gun and you make a coil. You connect one side of the coil to the stun gun electrode, and then you leave a gap on the other side of the electrode, and that makes the pulse. The coil itself projects the magnetic field. The stun gun provides the high voltage required to make an EMP, and the spark gap is the pulse. So it's literally as simple as that. If you go to Onionhead Andrew on Rumble, the last 2 videos posted, one of them is James Shin building it in his car. It takes him 15 minutes. It's that easy. And the other one is me showing the one that I've built and explaining the paradigm in which it's working and why it's working.
Okay. And we're going to the first Saturday that we have a chance to, we're going to have a workshop so that we can build some together. So what are the items that people need to get in order to build it?
Okay, yeah. And definitely reference the channel for this information, the Onion Head Andrew Rumble. And if you can't go to Onion Head Andrew Rumble, go to YouTube, David A. That's David Atkins. We did an interview a few weeks ago. This is a must-watch for targeted individuals. That's the title of it. So if you only have YouTube, you can find it there. But here's what you need. You need a stun gun. You need 18-gauge speaker wire braided. Okay, that's why you get speaker wire, because it's braided. And then you just need a means to connect it all together. So what I did is I took a stick and I glued it to the stun gun and I left it project. And all of this is obvious if you look at the video, what I'm talking about right now. It's harder to visualize it without the visual reference. But the stick is glued to the stun gun with some projecting above the stun gun's electrodes. And then I glued cardboard to the wood that was above the stun gun's electrodes to bring that plane level to the stun gun's electrodes. And then I took the speaker wire, the 18-gauge braided speaker wire, and all speaker wire is braided, by the way. And I coiled it about 8 times, 10 times in a circle the diameter of a soup can. And one electrode I connected to, or one end of the wire that was stripped, I connected to the electrode. And the other end of the wire that was stripped, I left gapped about a quarter inch, give or take. I hot glued all that down so it could not move. It was nice and stable. And then I turned on, you turn on the stun gun. And what will happen is that the side that is spark gap, the side that has the spark on it, will maintain its gap. And when you flip the stun gun on, it will no longer transmit energy between the two stun gun electrodes. It will send it through the coil and then into that gap that I was just talking about, and that's how you'll know it's working. And how you use it is that once that's working, you keep the gap away from you because the gap will shock you, right? It'd just be just like a stun gun. You keep that part away from you. You apply the coil to the area of your body that you want to rid yourself of the implants, and you turn it on for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then you move an inch, 2 inches, depending on the size of your coil, and you do it again. This whole process will take, I don't know, anywhere between a few days to a week, maybe 2 weeks. It takes time. You want to make notes. What areas have I done? And then towards the end, you're just going to trace pain. And you're going to feel it. A few days in, you're going to go, oh my God, there was a lot of implants in me. This is crazy. And no longer are these implants transmitting voltage. When they hit you after you've disabled the functionality of it, what it feels like is you can feel the specific implant in that specific spot. It feels as though you're being probed, which is infinitely better than being electrocuted from the inside out.
Beautiful. So basically, you're going to take this tool and you're going to hold it over every part of your body for 3 seconds, and until you, or if you know where your implants are, you're going to hold it over where the implants are for 3 seconds, and that will diminish pain, diminish impact, diminish, what we're going through.
Yeah, and it will be self-evident. It will be self-evident when you hit the right spot. And it might not be immediate. Like it might take you a few hours to realize that part's cleared, but you will realize after you've hit it within 24 hours, give or take. And but then, it is beautiful by the grace of God. This is why I brought up the nanotechnology part of it, because each one of these implants is acting as a hub for this nanotechnology, and each one of the implants is being connected by the nanotechnologies. Okay, so knowing the implants, deactivating the implants' functionality is the most important thing to do once you learn how to do it, basically once you hear what I'm saying right now. But also, knowing these nanotechnologies are in your environment or in your body, you must constantly be detoxing. And there's a variety of reasons for that. You're also, every target to some level is being aerosolized with heavy metal particulate and synthetic heavy metal compounds, right? That's that chemical smell. Sometimes it's, I don't want to get too far on this, but sometimes it's put in cars, gas tanks, and it's burned in the exhaust. That's why cars are constantly circling around you. There's always idling cars. Sometimes it's put in people's fireplaces. Sometimes it's even put in the sewer system, so that when you use your water or you flush your toilet, everybody's got a running toilet. This is why. When you flush your toilet, water goes down, gases come up. Now, if I'm the next door neighbor or someone in the neighborhood, I can pour lots and lots of chemicals down my drain, and that when you use your water, again, these chemical smells, we can pull them up into your space. Say we, I'm not part of this, but they're using chemtrail weapons to do that. And that's why chemtrail weapons from the air and, well, always from the air, but from the ground and above you. And these weather weapons can be, I mean, most targets know this just from, they're like, what the heck are these scents? Because they're always masking the scents. Like, why do I smell garlic right now? That type of thing. The garlic's one they use a lot around me. But either way, most people have experience with that. The sewer one, the reason I brought that up is because a lot of people early in their targeting will only have these sewer gases. And it's very hard to track that if they do it well. But they'll break into your house and they'll mess with your shower and they'll mess with your toilet to facilitate the transport of these chemical agents into you. So those chemical agents, the synthetic heavy metal compounds and the heavy metal particulate in the air, they help build the nanotechnologies. Okay, so even if you get the implants disabled, you still need to be detoxing on a fairly regular basis. It just needs to be part of your habits. And the best thing to do to detox is clean your colon. Start there. Everything else, that's the foundation of detoxing. Your colon drains so much of this if it's just clean.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're going to open up for Q&A in a second. I just want to give you the opportunity to say anything else, but what you shared is priceless, actually.
I'm not denying, this is the last thing I would like to say, is that a lot of times people hear this information and they get mad because it's like I'm underselling directed energy weapons. I'm not. They're very much present. It's just that they're so far out of my control, and they're weaponizing so much of the spectrum of frequency, that electromagnetic spectrum, that it's why focus on it. I can't control what the United States government through its contractors decide to do. I can't. But what I can control is what happens within my body. And no matter what they say or do, I can still control this. And it turns out that that's where our power lies. And in that power, we have the right and the ability to throw these chains off of us using this understanding. So I'm not denying directed energy weapons. They are prevalent. They are getting more sophisticated every year, and they will very much be present through all of this. But we can stop their access. We can disable their effectiveness, and we can reclaim our lives through this understanding.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're sharing this, and I can't wait till we're able to pull this together. So let me open up the Q&A. If you have questions, you can get in queue, and we'll start taking them right away. Tranquility, are you there? And are there any questions, my dear? If you have a question, you can get in queue, and we'll start taking your questions. It could be about any of the articles, anything that you've heard tonight, or something that Onion Head Andrew has said. Oh, I wanted to ask you that, Rob. okay, while we're getting in line. And that is, how did you get the name Onion Head, Andrew?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because that's perfectly relevant. When I was first trying to get this information out, I was focused on the nanotechnology side of it, and what I found is that alkaline foods are deconstruct the nanotechnology in our body more effectively than anything. And alkaline foods or foods that have an alkaline effect on us, are garlic and onions. And I was loving onions at the time. I was getting clean onions from a variety of sources. I can't get them anymore, but I would eat, I don't know,
I'm loving them right now. Mm.
I would eat so many raw. Oh, it's fine. I would eat so many raw onions, and eating lots of raw onions would have the same effect now as disabling the implants, because the implants without the nanotechnology present are also ineffective. So ideally, you disable the implants and you keep this nanotechnology from growing in you. At first I was approaching it from the other side and trying to tell people to do that, but people don't want to hear that. Eat raw onions.
But you know what's funny? That's all I'm eating. It's like I have I think it was on Substack, where I did a little video with me chopping up and eating some food, and it was cucumbers, onions, avocado, tomato. And I'm just like in this, just loving onions for some reason. So I think just like our body begins to crave what we need, because I was not that much in love with onions before, and now I'm like almost obsessed with them. So it makes all the sense in the world. Thank you for that. And I remember saying, and I even boil them and make them into a tea with ginger and lemon. And so I have some ready to mix with my honey now. So it just makes all the sense in the world. All right, we have quite a few questions lined up, so let's get started, because I'm going to ask you you're only going to be able to get in line one, and please ask your question, and we're going to keep it moving so that we can try to get as many done as possible. All right, so first caller.
Hey, Andrew, it's Krista Bauer from Idaho. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, hey, I'm just calling in just to say more of a testimony than a question for everyone who's interested in making the device Andrew's talking about. I made it, and we talked, and it's less complicated than you think. For me, I think that the perps or people want to make me think, oh, it's too hard. Other people might not think that, but for me, it was like, oh, can I do this? And I knew it wasn't hard. It wasn't like stressing about it, but it's way easier than it looks like. You just have to get the right materials, and I've done it, and I think I'm seeing some results, but I need to keep doing it. And it's great. And you know what? Oh, one other thing I just want to say before and other people go is that when I feel an attack at a certain body part, and I break out this stun gun, and I just start zapping, just thinking like maybe this is where an implant is, and maybe if I zap this area, I'm going to neutralize this, and it's definitely doing something. So thank you, Andrew.
Okay. So Christy, thank you for your testimony, and it's been a pleasure working with you. The thing you need to do now that you're going on the implants is you really need to focus on cleaning your colon. Okay? Once you start detoxing, the other part of this too is that sometimes the implants are so calcified in our bodies with nanotechnologies that we can't access them with the EMP. So that might also be going on. That's a thing that happened. It happened in my. Go ahead. What's that?
You broke up.
Oh.
You broke
okay.
up.
I'll say it again.
Sometimes calcified.
Yeah. Sometimes the nanotechnologies will calcify over the implants. So the easiest way to start your detox is clean your colon. The best way is a 3 to 5 day dry fast. That's no food, no water for 3 to 5 days. I know that's really rough for a lot of people, So start with what's easy, work your way up. But either way, when you combine the two, you will see results. And if you just keep up on the EMP, even if you don't want to detox, you're going to see results. And I don't know. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about what's going on with your stun gun, if your spark gap's right, that type of thing.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Christy.
Thank you. All right. Next caller, please.
Yes. Hi, Andrew. I have checked out some of your videos, and I got to say they are brilliant. So thank you for putting out really good information. My question is this. Let's say that you do not, let's say the hypothetical situation where you do not zap the implants, but you do maximally, alkaline diet, clean out colon, like maximally attack the nanotech, but you do not zap the implants. The question is, will those measures, against the nano inside the body, will they also somehow affect the implants, or the implants will still stay there but just not be as effective because they will not have that tag team of the nano, to do whatever it does?
And that's exactly right, what you were just saying. That's what will happen. That was years of my life. I traveled being attacked by all sorts of counterintelligence teams through all sorts of countries, like the most advanced Israelis that are behind this on the international level, and they couldn't generate the results that they needed to disable me by just me eating orange peels, grapefruit peels, raw onions, raw garlic.
Wow.
So,
but it also implies that if let's say the TI goes back on eating badly, acidic, and going on bad habits, then the implants will start becoming much more functional again. Is that correct?
That is correct. 100%. Yes, the nanotechnology will grow again. And that's because you're constantly being reinfected by these filaments, this smart dust. It's in corporate food, it's in chemtrails, it's in tap water. You just get constantly. That's the fourth industrial revolution, baby. That's what they're doing right now, So this is the new type of slavery they're trying to roll out.
And if you don't mind, just one follow-up. The same situation I just described, alkaline diet maximally hit the nano, but the implants still stay there unzapped. If the implants generate radio frequencies, does cleaning up all the nano stuff reduce the radio frequency signal that can be detected on the implant? If you know that by any chance.
I do not know it, but I would assume that was the case. I do not know. That's a guess.
Understood. Okay, fair enough. Awesome.
Great questions, man. Great questions. Yeah. Thanks for the compliment.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you provide such good content that they bring up these questions. So anyway, thank you very much, and I look forward to checking out the rest of your videos.
Oh, great. Hey, and if I've got my email, it's on the Onion Head Andrew channel at the end of the videos and in the show notes. It's go ahead and reach out if you've got any more questions like that. Those are great questions.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Andrew.
Next caller, please.
Hi, this is Lisa from Los Angeles. Hi, Andrew. I can't wait to dive into your Rumble account because my mind is blown with what you've told me tonight. So my question is, how are they getting into our houses with through our electrical wiring? Now, I turned off my electricity in one room, and I was able to sleep like a baby for 2 nights. And then all of a sudden, they were back, and I haven't been able to sleep right ever since they got in. How are they getting in? I don't have central air. I don't have central heating. I don't have any of that. I don't have a smart meter or anything on my house. That's old school house. How are they getting in?
Okay, so you just brought up, thank you for what you're saying at first. There's two things that to respond to you with. One is that you are right the electrical fields around us do play a part. And that's because that's a long explanation that we really can't get into right now. But if you email me, I'll send you the resources to understand it. It's got to do with dielectricism and magnetism. And to say it shortly, your body is more magnetic around these electric fields, which makes the weapons work more effectively. But the second thing that I would say, and more importantly, is how are they accessing, how are they making these weapon systems so effective if I've got all these things turned off and I don't have central internet support? They are floating these particulates, these chemical substrates, and these heavy metal, they're nano-sized. So what they do is they use various directed energy weapons to create pillars of these columns of these particulates to penetrate your windows, your doors. They flood them through shared walls. If they're on the other side of a wall, that's what they're doing. That's why they want to move in next to you, the human traffickers, not just the informants. Sometimes the informants are the human traffickers too, but I guess you would figure that out. You would know that better in your environment. Sometimes, and they do this a variety of ways. They'll use dryers, they'll use fireplaces, they'll use cars, they'll use chemtrails above you, however they can. When they can concentrate that chemical agent or the heavy metal compounds, whatever thing they're doing particularly at that moment, they have got a variety of chemicals, particulates they're using. When they can concentrate that and you breathe enough of it in, then what it does is it magnetizes your body. It polarizes your body, and it allows the dews to be hyper effective at that moment. When you stop breathing those things in, then you go back to being able to sleep. This is also how they're keeping people up at night. And it's a longer explanation. It's got to do with chemtrails and the inversion layer. But I'll say it really quick. They'll spray the air above you. The chemtrails will drop to the ground. When the chemtrails drop to the ground, it allows them to more effectively float these chemical substrates into your airways.
Son of a gun. So that's why the planes are always over my house.
Yes, that's the rumbling. That's the rumble. The rumbling is the directed energy weapons and shaking stuff to move this into your airways. And that's what the planes are doing. Exactly. Yep.
And before I get home, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, when they have to do it so much. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm sorry. No, but right before I get home, there's always a smell in my car. It comes through my air conditioner in my car.
Yeah.
Right before I get home, there's putting the spray, this smell in my
that's the chemical substrate. And what's happened is they've geo-fenced your car, they've geo-fenced your house, and then they put it into your environment, meaning that when your car enters the area, the environment where this substrate is out there, where this chemical particulate is out there, it gets pulled into that area. And then likewise, it gets pulled into you.
Wow.
Through your breathing. Yep, that's how they're doing that.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was great talking to you, Lisa. Lisa from Las Vegas. I lived in Las Vegas. I lived in Summerlin. Where do you live?
Oh, no, I'm in Los Angeles. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the hubbub of it all, unfortunately. It's just wild.
Yeah, they chemtrail. They chemtrail so bad out here on the West Coast, but Los Angeles is one of the worst.
Oh, it's the worst. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, next caller, please. Hi, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Andrew, thank
Go
you
ahead.
so much for the information. Very good information. I've taken some great notes, so thank you. I have 3 quick questions. Because we are an experiment, and because of what you've been able to do you think they'll come up with some other technology to try to pull you back into this matrix, or any of us back into this matrix, once we try what you've given us to try? Secondly, would you consider selling this device and letting us purchase it from you? And also, would it help to wear a facial mask to not breathe in what you just spoke on?
Okay, so we'll start backwards. Third, it helps minimally to wear a mask. We're talking about very small particulate. It does help somewhat, though, depending at certain times. I have a friend in Brazil who swears by it. 2, I will not have any plans to sell it as of now because I don't want to it's not that I don't want to make money or I want to send it to you. I actually don't feel great about making money in this situation, but it's because anytime we mail things as targets, they're going to tamper with it. And it behooves us to build our own resiliency so that even if they break it, that you can go out and make another one. If you're in any major town, if there's a sporting goods in store or 2 or 3 in your town, you'll be set. And there's nothing they can do about it. Because all we're talking about is a $30 stun gun with a good switch and $10 of speaker wire. That's something anyone can do. Don't be afraid of it, and use the videos as the resource to learn how to build it. And then you can email me with specific questions. And what was the first question?
Because we are an experiment, once we are able to stop the nanotechnology from working, do you think that they'll figure out a way to pull us back in the matrix because we are a lifelong experiment?
Great question. Yes, they will. And how they will try to pull you back in initially is through the chemical substrates. They're going to try to get as close to you and to dump as much air particulate into your breezeways and into your breathways as possible. All right? Now, as far as developing other sets of technologies, they're always trying to do that. And I can't tell you if they'll be successful or not, but what I can say is that this is a global genocide program, okay? Everyone's got this nanotechnology growing in them. So as far as I can tell, most of their eggs, if not all of their eggs, are in this basket and have been since they tried the COVID scam. And we're mostly successful, to be honest.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great question.
Thank you, Lynn. Great questions. Yeah. So I want to say that we are going to build them together. And I'm working on something. We have some team members that have already started. And we'll be in touch with Onion Head, to be a part of it. But we're going to do some things coming up real soon because I think that, I'm real solution-oriented, and this is such a great one that we really need to do it. I agree with you, Andrew. We have to be careful with mailing, but we do have ways to ship things, and so we'll think about both of those things. The other thing is I think the mask is that it works to this end. When I was in rural Missouri, the chemtrail, because I think I had been come out of the matrix to some degree, again, because I've been out a few times, and they meant to chemtrail me to pieces. The chemtrails were over me all the time. I was wondering why. And tonight you explained why. So I noticed it, so I took out my mask, I took out the CDS spray, and I began spraying the house, and the CDS spray breaks that stuff up. And the mask, and they left. They stopped. So they obviously could see me, and they knew what I was doing, so they knew it was futile. And they don't waste time, and they don't waste money. So when you push back, and they'll go back, and of course there'll be a countermeasure, but you countermeasure as well. So this is absolutely brilliant, and we're going to move forward with it. All right, next caller, please.
Yeah, hi, this is
Thank
Kim.
you, Lynn. Hi, Kim.
This is Kim. Can you hear me? Hi. Thanks so much for the wonderful program and the great speaker tonight. Thank you for having him. And I'd like to ask a couple things. First, what is the best way you recommend to clean or detox our colon? Is it like when someone is going to have a colon or go and have a test done at the hospital for their colon, or is there another way that you recommend? And then also
really quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tensia. Really quick. The best way to do it is fiber. It's just fiber. You can get soft fiber. You can get hard fiber. I use oats. I got sourced here locally. I bought them from a farmer a year ago or something like that. It's a very hard fiber. I wouldn't recommend that for most people, but it works very, very good. But soft fiber, hard fiber, anything like that. Non-water soluble fiber has its place. Like I said, the oat husks. But there's many ways to detox your colon. If you just Google it, you'll find the ways that work best for you. And you want to incorporate that into your regular habits. What was your second question?
Can you use a TENS unit?
Yeah, the TENS unit's great. The low voltages help deconstruct the nanotechnologies, and they also interplay with another layer of this weapon system we haven't even covered, or I covered very briefly, the nanobots. That is, what Lynn was asking earlier, another countermeasure. They'll take a counterattack, let's say, is they will spray your environment with as many nanobots as possible. And these nanobots, what they do is they crawl on the outside of your skin, they crawl in the inside of your skin. This is how they're doing the sex attacks, by the way. And they spread these polymers. The polymers is the major component of the nanotechnology. So the TENS unit can actually destabilize that very extremely low voltage, can destabilize the nanobots and disable their functionality. But again, those are constantly being introduced onto you once you go down this path. So what I do right now is I keep a TENS unit going on me almost all the time. And I've got a big injury too, so it helps regardless. I've got a TENS unit going right now. It's a drive, a TENS drive. It's a great question. You brought that up, and I'm very thankful you did. That was great. And are you using one right now?
I've used it because I was in a bad car accident, so I've used TENS, and I was a physical therapist assistant, so you have to use TENS unit too. So yeah, it can be helpful. I agree. For at least for pain.
Yeah.
Also, any of your videos that you recommend, because I've been trying to educate some of the administration. Is there any that you recommend would be a really good one to get them to have the roundabout of what is going on, the gist of what they're doing in a nutshell? Anything you recommend to send it? If you wouldn't mind.
It would really.
I'd send. Go ahead.
It would be really dependent on who specifically was your audience. But I think if you go through the channel, I think you'll learn the best way yourself to write the letters and not have to reference a video material or whatnot. But the bigger part than all of the DIY stuff is the education part of it, because the general population, they're being affected with this too. They've got nanotechnologies growing in them. They just don't have the physical implants ordering them. But they're getting hit with directed energy weapons too. Look at the rollout of the millimeter wave, the 5G, right? And I know that's just one element. There's VLF, very low frequency, ultra low frequency, extremely low frequency, that has been weaponized for the last 50, 60 years. And then in great numbers in the last 30 years since HARP got put up. And that's just the low end of the electromagnetic spectrum. So now we're moving into the higher ends. So and they're putting these things in streetlights. They're putting these things in cell phone screens, in your this what flat screen technologies, these blue light technologies are. They're putting them in headlights now. That's why you're getting blasted when you're driving down the road with these headlights, because they access the brain through the optical nerve. So the whole spectrum's being weaponized, and everyone's got nanotechnologies in them. And that brings me back to the point I was talking earlier about targeted individuals and what they really are. And that's their data ledger sets so that this process can be automatic for the public, autonomized for the public, driven by AI.
Wow. Thank you so much for all your education today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for the call. The questions.
Okay.
All right, next caller, please. Next caller.
Hey, Gogi, Andrew, thank you so much for a great call tonight. This is
Hi, Deborah. Thank you.
Hi, Gogi. So, Andrew, I have an implant at my brainstem. So, if I were to zap that area, is it okay to zap your head, your brain? Your brain,
Greg,
skull?
Yeah, great question. The EMP, this is why the stun gun is so awesome. The EMP that the stun gun creates is very, very small. So it's just big enough to destroy these implants. And that's also why Christy, the first call, wasn't sure. We weren't sure if she was getting to them or not. So we can build stronger. In fact, I had built a stronger one before all this. But then we move into are we endangering ourselves pulsing these electromagnetic fields over us? And I don't believe, this is my personal opinion, that the stun gun is dangerous to anything other than a pacemaker. If you have a pacemaker, do not use this. Send me an email. We'll talk it out. But outside of that, I do not believe you should be worried about it. That's my personal opinion. I don't know for sure.
And thank you. And what would some foods be that would be less contaminated so as to not reinfect?
Oh, see, that's another great question. It is so hard to know because these foods are being contaminated at the farm level. They're being contaminated at the port level, at the warehouse level, and some distributors like bigger grocery chains and stuff. So it's going to be dependent on a variety of things I wouldn't be able to tell you off the cuff. But what I can say is that if you buy from your local farmers, that is your best bet to get uncontaminated food. Now, eventually, the local FBI contractors will adapt, and they'll start breaking into these farmers' places overnight, that type of thing, and infecting them, food supply. That's how serious this is. We really are in a genocide here. They really do want everyone to have this nanotechnology in them at all times. But that happened locally here. I was buying for farmers for a long time. Go ahead.
It's very disgusting. I was just going to say we are really in a chemical warfare. The best thing we have going for us is that RFK is aware, and he's trying to stop some of this nonsense. And they did create the task force for the chemtrails that becomes effective July 1st. So hopefully that will help with our. Okay, go ahead, Deborah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just the last question. I mean, I could talk to you all night, Andrew. You don't happen to live in New Jersey, do you?
No, I'm in Vancouver, Washington.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the fast that you had mentioned, the 3 to 5 day fast. Did you say no food, no water as well? Did I hear you correctly? No water.
Yeah, you heard me. You heard me right. It's called dry fasting. If you want the resource on that, the man's name is Dr. August Dunning, Dunning. He runs a YouTube. Check it out. It'll blow your mind how effective dry fasting is. I've done it a lot.
I'm just surprised because it would be hard, I think, with this because so many of us get dehydrated with this.
100%.
With being targeted. Yeah. So that's tough.
It was very difficult for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
3 days.
Thank you so much. I don't know where you found Andrew, but boy, this is you gave me some real hope tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Listen, 3 days it can destroy your all the nano inside you. It's well worth it. I not that I'm going to do it, but I'm just if anyone can, it's great. My pleasure. Always looking.
Hold on, Gogi.
I'm always
on
looking.
Sorry for interrupting you. It's on the second day of no water that your body starts to enter a cycle of intense inner compression. And basically that inner compression, because it's looking to squeeze the water out of stuff to get its hydration. And what it does first is it goes after the fat and the forever chemicals in your body. The nanotechnology is made out of forever chemicals. So basically, it utilizes the nanotechnology for your life. So it turns into what was a bad thing becomes a good thing after the second day of no water, no food. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. Your body Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Beautiful.
If anybody is able to do it, if anybody wants to try to do it, I'll try with you. So if we can do it, if I would need an accountability partner for sure. But I know it would be well worth it. Mm-hmm.
It is rough.
Well
it is rough. It's very hard to give up food when sometimes that's the only nice thing that we have as targets in our life some days, you know? So do it as you can.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, Gogi. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for your questions. Next caller, please.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Hi, Gogi. This is Michelle from Virginia, and this
Hi,
is
Michelle.
Awesome. Hey, amazing show as always, and Andrew, thank you. So you're welcome. Would there add a couple of quick questions? Is this your item good for my dog?
Yes, but your dog will probably freak out. My dog did. He still is. I accidentally shocked him because he twitched. He freaked out and he flailed right into the spark gap. So be careful.
Okay. So if I didn't do that, could the dog detox like kind of with the same alkaline foods?
Yeah, but dogs don't really like alkaline foods. They're carnivores in general aren't big fans of eating vegetables.
Okay. All right. So just be careful then with your what you said. And I did find your channel since listening on Rumble. My other question is, so when I go to get food, if I buy it, in the grocery store, or if I go into a restaurant, like let's say, there's a buffet or something, people come out like bats from hell to do stuff to my food, even at work.
Yeah.
So if I have a pop, sometimes it looks like it's boiling, and I'm like, what is that? Or if it's meat, there's foggy stuff inside of it. So what's going on there? And any advice? And thank you so much, Gogi and Andrew.
That is another great question. You've got to protect your food as a target. You cannot give people access to it. This is one of the main things they're going to want to poison. What they're doing is they're using nanoparticulate aerosols. They're releasing them from their persons, and they're using electromagnetic waves to guide them into your food. Now, when one person does this, they can use in a spray can. I've seen it in a spray can before from an Israeli in Nicaragua. I saw how they were doing it that time. But most of the time we don't see how they're doing it. Most of the time one person's releasing it, another person's aiming it at your food so that they can just walk by you at the grocery store, say, and see, this is awful. It really is awful what they're doing to us as far as this goes. And one person can walk by you, all this fresh vegetables that you just bought or are in the process of buying, or they'll get behind you at the cash register, and they'll release it there in the air, and then the other person, who's usually a counterintelligence operative, who's a real life big deal human trafficker, like they get the money for doing this, and they use an informant to release it, and then they're looking from a distance, is guiding it into your soft foods. Okay, you can block that by using metal containers. At one point, I've had to do this. And not only metal containers, but 3 millimeter thick garbage bags will block this air particulate. So if you're having this happen to you at your house, for example, and some people do, they have it happen within their refrigerator. The refrigerator becomes geofenced, which is to say that the particulate is guided into the refrigerator and it bounces around in the refrigerator and causes the contamination of the food. But either way, if this is happening to you, you can use these garbage bags to protect, which is very hard to do at the grocery store because people are going to think you're stealing, and then you still got to buy it, so you got to figure this out, right? Or you can use metal containers. And metal containers, Yeah, but it's definitely a factor, and this is affecting lots and lots of people. And you know how they're always surrounding us at grocery stores? Well, some of that is the distraction, right? Like they're using, excuse my language, but real dumbass people to do it, to like bump into your carts, real hill-looking people. And that's I'm not trying to disparage anyone, but they use the world's dumbest people for that. And to instigate a fight with you, and so that you're on edge and you don't see the operation to poison your food. So I'm glad you picked up on that. And again, this goes back to calling it what it is. And no offense to anyone that says gang stalking, because it's a common thing. I have said it. Everyone said it. But these are counterintelligence operations. And if really think about what that means, it means to counter your intelligence so that you don't understand what's happening in your environment, to your food, to your body, to your well-being.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Michelle, for your question. And next caller, get ready. That is brilliant. To metal containers, because in our, we don't put the pots in the refrigerator, our metal pots. We put them in plastic containers and glass containers, but actually it would be better, I guess, to store them in metal. And
yes.
Also, I guess, to take something metal to the store that we would keep our food in, at least we can put them in, get something metal. I'm just trying to think of what big metal objects we can have that we put our groceries in. That would make sense. Might be a good product initiative for somebody, for the TIs. And these are things that we are going to end up teaching others. Once we're free, we know that this exists now, and that means it will be reinvented again during these end times. But we can create some kind of metal containers that people go and shop with, if that is going to protect our food from this. And it's just ridiculous that it's happening, but we have to do what we have to do.
That's one of the most egregious things these people are doing to us, is trying to poison our food everywhere we go. The better, there's no real workaround with that, because you still got to pay for it at the cash register, so you got to pull it out. The person's got to scan it. And again, that's why they get right behind you in line, right? They wait up there at the till for this, right? They're always there to get right behind you, so that they can get your food on the conveyor belt. But the better thing to do is to change your habits. When you take your foot outside the door, or before you even go into the grocery store or any place that's selling food, you got to think to yourself, in and out. I'm going to be in there and I'm going to be out of there. I'm going to get these 10 things, 5, whatever it is, and I'm going to get out of here as fast as possible. You get in front of the counterintelligence operation. And not only that, or the operation, because maybe it's not counterintelligence now that you know, but you get in front of the operation, it's true. You go as quick as you can. You don't tell anyone beforehand that you're going. And then you try to deceive.
We can't even talk. When I go with people, they're like, if I knew you were going to stop there, I would do this. I say, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, because communication is very difficult when you're an intelligent TI, meaning that you are a part of this counterintelligence process. You know that you can't tell everybody where you're going all the time, and most of the time you just can't do it. If you do, you are putting yourself in the war zone, as opposed to being on the outskirts. You're already in a war.
Yep.
Exactly. Stay on the outskirts. Try to stay on the outskirts. There's one question I wanted to ask about the food thing, and then I'm going to let the next person go. Are there some food items that they cannot contaminate? Like I heard you say something about soft foods. Like, what can't they contaminate, or can these little tiny nanoparticles go in anything?
These nanoparticles can potentially go in anything. But if you think about the nature of material, the hardest materials are going to require them to be the closest. So metal cans, glassware, things like that. But produce that's out in the open, they can breeze it by you from a distance of yards. 2 yards, 5 yards.
Like it can go in an apple, for example. They can put it in an apple, like just wow.
Yep, just breezing you with it, and that's what they do when you're at the store. They're just breezing you the whole time with it.
All right, I have one more question.
Almost every target goes through that. Sorry, go ahead.
When we cook it, when we freeze it, when we put it in the refrigerator, does that change it, or it has no impact on the nano?
It has very little impact on the nano. When you cook it, when you fry it, if you put your head over something that you believe has been infected, and you breathe, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. If it's been infected and you're breathing this steam that's coming off of this cooked vegetable, say, then you will become intoxicated. It will be obvious to you what I'm saying is true.
Okay. All right. I'll take the next caller, please. Next caller, please. Thank you, Andrew. Next caller.
Hi, 773. You're up next.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Hi.
Yes.
Gogi, can you spell that CBS spray that you use in your house? I want to make sure I get the right kind.
Okay. I would only get it from these people, but it's chlorine dioxide, dioxide, chlorine, chlorine, chlorine dioxide spray or solution.
And where do I get that?
Okay, so I'm going to send you an email. Ken Adachi is the one that was on the call that we know who makes it, and he got his ingredients from the original person, Jim Humble, who created it. And Todd gave us some, but I don't know if that's still available to us. So if you send me an email, I'll send you the email that he sent. Okay.
Hey, I've got a solution for you that you can build yourself. You won't, again, resilient, right? Yeah, it's a chemtrail buster, and what it does is it demagnetizes the particulate in your environment, and it doesn't fully. It depends how much they're chemical swamping you. Depends how many chemtrails, but it is a chemtrail buster. What it is you take a box fan and you take solid copper wire, you twist 2 strands of solid copper wire together, and you hot glue it or affix it to each fan blade. So let's say your box fan has 5 fan blades. Each one of these fan blades is going to have this twisted copper rod on each one. Then when you turn it on, what it does is it creates that demagnetizing effect. It'll affect the chemtrails above your house, and it'll affect the ones being released near your house by your neighbors, whoever's doing it, whatever. But
oh my goodness! You just answered something for me. Tony Pantalleresco, something like that. He creates this fan. So I had that, and they didn't put the chemtrails over me because of that.
Well, it broke it up. It broke it up.
Right, but they didn't waste their time. Go ahead. They didn't waste their time with the chemtrails when I did that.
Tony's uses magnets. I don't bother with the magnets. You can do it either way. I'm not sure, which way is better. But it's on Onion Head Andrew Rumble how to build one of these things. You can build it very easily. And in fact, I've turned all my ceiling fans into this. So each one of my ceiling fans has got these copper strands, and I'm affecting. Yesterday, I was getting probably clearing 3 miles of chemtrails in one direction with the wind. Yeah, it was. I
love it.
This is. So now here's what.
You're blessing the whole neighborhood. You're blessing everybody around you. That's beautiful.
Well, because God's blessed me with this knowledge, but It hasn't eluded me, though, that thought. And I think it's got a healing effect that's blanketing this area. But you can build multiple of these, and you don't need to use ceiling fans. You can use box fans. These $20 box fans, you build 3 of these around your house. Just keep them running, and you'll be busting chemtrails.
Absolutely.
Can I ask you one more question about the LK line, please? If that kind of dissolves the implants, I was thinking of maybe getting the implants removed to use for court cases. Would that interfere with that?
I have
Good question.
I have no idea, honestly, how to even get into the removing them because they're so small.
No, she's saying, by busting them, will it interfere with them? But I think that that's such a great question, Dee, because I'm on this path of number one, making sure that I'm scanned, and anybody else that wants to be scanned for the frequencies from the court experts that we have scanned so we know where the implants are, and then 2, that we try to work our way towards getting them removed. So if we disable them, the question is, Andrew, is if we disable them, they'll still be there, correct? And they won't have any impact, but they'll still be there. Yeah, so they'll still be there.
They'll be there for the future for someone else to figure out how to find them and take them out. But you disable it, though. Disable it. Don't wait on some court case. Reclaim your life.
You answered my question. Thank you. That was my question.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a torture murder thing. Like, let's not. They're going to human traffic you until they no longer, have the ability or the desire or not getting the money for it, and then they'll kill you. And it's because what we're dealing with is the most depraved element of our society. These are human traffickers. They're ran by pedophiles. So get these implants deactivated. That's what it is. Get these implants deactivated as fast as you can. Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
I'm glad you are telling me that. Thank you.
God bless you.
Okay, Dee. All right, next caller, please. Email me, please.
Okay, hold on. Hi, thank you so much for Andrew, for all the help and everybody. One question is, with the fans, if they're box fans, which way do you direct them? If they're just sitting on the ground, do you just direct the fans towards, they're inside their house, and then you direct it away, out your windows, or how does that happen? And then I have one other question.
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. And the box fans, the best way to direct it would be parallel to the ground, but do it however you can make it work. Box fans are meant to stand perpendicular to the ground, so that's why I put them on the ceiling fans, because the ceiling fans are perfect for it.
Okay, thanks. And then switching subjects to all of this, all of this that's the dust, et cetera, that's hitting your body. I wanted to know, even with shielding materials or just materials that we live with, are there things that draw this dust, et cetera, to our bodies more so? Because I know when I'm shielding with things, that seems when I subsequently feel a lot of the quote dust feeling. So are there things that go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
It gets me excited helping people. When you start shielding effectively, then the counterintelligence operations or let's just call it operations in your environment, the counterintel team, are going to chemtrail you more to counteract that, because they're getting paid. They've got a gamified payment system. And you can get this, I don't know this firsthand, but Amy of Amy's Audio has found the blockchain receipts of what this claim. So I'm backing on her legitimacy here, or her information. But they're using a gamified model, which basically gives them points more or less. It's kind of an arbitrary way of saying it, but gives them a rating on how effective they're torturing you by the minute. So the higher they can get that rating, the more money they can get paid. So if you start blocking, you start shielding, you start destroying this nanotech through devices or whatever, your eating habits, detoxing, then they're going to decrease the distance between you and them to increase your torture so they can keep their money.
So what's the solution then? Just see if I can survive without a lot of the shielding, or?
No. Step into it as best as you can and know that you're going to get this resistance. The solution is disable the implants with the device that I'm talking about. There's so many solutions. If you go to Onionhead Andrew Rumble page, you can see all the ones that are like infrared lights, for example. You can use incandescent infrared lights topically on the area that's specifically being hurt, and that will neutralize a lot of it. It has to do with alkalinizing the water in your body. But definitely start with disabling your implants or get to it very quickly, because that alone will demonstrate to you what I'm saying is correct. And when you understand that, when you really practically understand that, then a whole plethora of solutions beyond the solutions that I've presented on the channel or to you tonight will start to become available to you, because it's the correct action brings you good roots lead to good fruits. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you very much. And can I ask one more thing? With water rinsing, we know we need to bathe when we are hit with stuff. Does water really just help? Just getting water on our bodies to just lessen the impact of what's hitting our skin? Does that help? Thanks.
No, it doesn't. It does not help very much. But what does help is oil and shaving. Oil and shaving, this is what I should have told you a second ago. Oil and shaving is by far the best thing to get these bioplaques off of you. But the smart dust is sticking to the nanotechnology that's on the outside of your body. And it's on the outside of your body for a variety of reasons. It's coming from the inside, and also nanobots, and also the smart dust sometimes contains glue on it. So if you use a razor and oil, and you can even do that while you're showering, that will be effective. It'll get that off you better than anything. And this is going to sound crazy, but you go to the Onionhead Andrew Rumble channel, and you can see this for yourself. But I shave everything but my eyebrows, and I shave everything on a routine basis, every day, 3 days, whatever the schedule is for whatever body part. Basically, when I see hair, I shave it, because when I do that on a regular basis, it keeps this crap off me. It keeps my symptoms down, and I don't care about looking like a bald alien, because there is some blessing with being a man. But before I disabled the implants, that was one of the standalone best things that I was doing for myself on a regular basis.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Thanks. That was a great question. God bless. And the oils that you can use are anything like a mineral oil or a castor oil, anything like that. And then basically you're just using that as your shaving compound. So you put it on, you let it sit, and you shave it off. And you'll see the bioplaques on your razor.
Okay, yeah, cold pressed castor oil. All right, we're going to have to move this along because it's getting late, and there's still a lot of people in queue. So, please, one question, and we're gonna let you ask your question. We're gonna mute you, and then we're gonna answer and keep moving, or else we'll be here we're gonna be here till tomorrow, maybe. But okay. Next question.
Hi, Gogi. It's Diane from Buffalo, New York. Thank you so much.
Hi, Diane.
Hi. Thank you, Andrew, for your information.
My pleasure.
Okay, I have a question. It was Deborah's question, really, about the lethalness. I wanted to know if it if you do hit the stun gun, is how bad would that be if you are hit with the stun gun?
It would be like being hit with the stun gun normal. It would be, I've been hit a few times by it by accident, but it feels like a bad shock. It's not, it won't kill you. That's why they sell them at sporting goods stores, and you don't need to be like a cop or have a special license to own one.
Okay, thank you. And that's really quick. And I just wanted to know, like, my feet are being really, like, cooked to death. So it's okay if I'm feeling like they're cooked to death to hit the stun gun on my foot while they're cooking it to death.
Yeah, well, the cooking feeling is a mass of heavy metals and nanotechnology in your feet, because your body naturally detoxes through your feet. So naturally it's going to accrue there. And the best way to get rid of that is to do a colon cleanse and disable the implants.
Okay, thank you. I won't hold you, but thank you so much for your information tonight. Thank you, Gogi and Andrew.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Diane. All right, next caller, please.
Hey there. Hey, Gogi. Thanks so much for having Andrew on. And Andrew, thank you so much for all that you've shared. This is Simon. I'm a TI here in North Carolina. And
hi, Simon. Thank you.
Hey, Gogi. Yeah, my question, well, I had a few things, but just the one question that I would ask is, how would somebody become more educated about all this? Because you seem to know a whole lot. So is there like a primary source that you would recommend?
There's so many primary sources. Dr. Anna Mihalcea, she's on Substack and Rumble. Dr. Robert Young, he does the alkaline diet, the pH stuff. She does nanotechnology. He does alkaline diet, nanotechnology. Clifford Carnicombe of carnicomeinstitute.org. Those are great primary sources. And if you followed through with those 3 primary sources alone, then you would have a lot of the base knowledge that I've got right now. But again, I put all of these sources in Onionhead Andrew Rumble channel videos going back about, give or take 8 months, a year ago. It's the Depopulation Survival Guide series that I made on the channel. If you go through those videos, you'll see a lot of the primary sources and more than I've mentioned.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome, Simon.
Thanks, Simon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. Next caller, please.
Hi, Gogi. This is Amelia from LA. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing?
No.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to call, well, at least tell you guys, or at least ask Andrew. Andrew, you mentioned about rambling earlier, about the planes and like the helicopters, like rambling. Could you tell me more about that? And then I know you said Gogi to keep it limited, right? Just one question, right? I know you said.
Yeah, we're trying to get off as soon as possible and speak to everybody, so that's why. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, could you emphasize on that, Andrew, about the ramble? You mentioned about that earlier, about the planes and the helicopters kind of flying over and they ramble. It's like the rambling. Something comes out.
Yes. The rumbling. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Rumbling.
They use directed energy weapons on the sound spectrum, but all throughout the spectrum. That's why I don't get too focused on this. But particularly that rumbling, what you're hearing is the directed energy weapons shaking a column of particulate in the air into your breezeways and then into your breathways. That's heavy metal particulates and synthetic heavy metal compounds. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I guess and that's all, Gogi. Yeah, that's all, Andrew. And thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question. All right, next caller, please.
Hi, Gogi. This is Ann from Portland, Oregon. I just want to ask. Hi, how are you doing? I just wanted to ask Andrew a question about the TENS unit because I use it in the middle of my neck, right across from my ear, and I was wondering if I should switch it around if I'm using it 24/7, like he says he uses it all the time. Because I don't know if that's dangerous or what, putting it on your neck, across from your ear by your brain stem, I don't know. But they don't like that. I know that. When you do that, they don't like that. When you use a TENS unit.
I don't know if it's dangerous long term. I wouldn't know that. I'm a survivor like yourself. I'm in Vancouver, Washington, by the way, but real close to you. Yeah.
Oh, great! Yeah, I used to live in Vancouver.
Yeah, I said it would be a great place to live if it wasn't for this.
Yeah.
But
every place would be a great place to live without this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know it's so beautiful here, though. If I really do love the area, but it is really intense here.
That's nice. That is.
Yeah, but
I heard Washington is really crazy.
Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, LA, New York City. What's the other one? Houston. There's a few others I'm forgetting. It seems to be those are hubs. But either way, move the TENS unit around. Move it around. That's what I've noticed. But it's really, really good for you to keep it going because it pulses your nervous system and it destabilizes that nanotechnology at the same time. And it disables the nanobots. So it does a variety of things. I know that's a lot I just said, but, we're doing it fast.
Okay, that's fine. Also, do you have a group in Vancouver? Because I live really close by. Do you have a group that you meet with or no?
No, I don't. There was some lady local that was doing meetups on tievents.org. I went to one of hers, but no, but go on the Onion Head Andrew Rumble page, and my email's there. And if you want, you can email me.
Okay, I might have met you actually.
Did we meet at one of those events? It was at Laughing Planet. Laughing Planet.
Yeah. Yes.
And I talked about alkalinity.
I don't really remember. It might have been a little while ago.
Are you the one that lives in the trailer park? Sorry for.
No. That's Amy. No, I live in Northeast Portland.
Are you the one with the sick dog? Did you?
No.
Did you have a dog? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember.
I had a dog that died.
We were talking. We try to keep this fast, but we talked about trying to help that dog as it was dying. I think that's why I was trying to tell you about feeding it alkaline foods, but it's hard trying to get fresh water, trying to get into cold plunges, that type of thing.
Yeah. I think I met you.
Yeah, you had military license plates, right?
No, it's not me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if we met.
All right.
Okay, guys. So thank you for your question.
Thank you, Andrew.
We're going to move to the next caller.
Thank you.
Next caller, please. All right. Okay, Washington people. Okay, next caller.
Yes, hi. Andrew, thank you for your information. I was trying to figure out, how to make this device, but I think I will need the help from Gogi's group because I'm not versed in any kind of technological stuff or items like the ones you mentioned that we should get to make these things and how to make them work. So that is one thing. And another thing I wanted to ask you, what do you use normally for colon cleansing?
Just as far as the first part goes, I believe Gogi has got a workshop she's trying to put together, so stay tuned for that. And then the second, the colon cleanse, fibers, just fibers in general. Fiber. You can get that from many sources, but really Google for yourself the best colon cleanses and then find out what fits best in your life and incorporate that as a regular habit.
Okay. I've heard of some natural substances that you take, capsules that help detox your colon. I don't know if you heard about that, like wormwood and walnut hull tincture, things like that. Did you hear about those things from natural medicine?
Yes, I've heard about. Oh, there's so many things, but yes, I've heard about both those things, and I think both of them are effective. But like for example, wormwood is extremely bitter. So if you can't stomach how bitter it is, you're going to need to find something that you can. But whatever, you'll figure it out when you look it up, and then you want to incorporate this habit. Like I can't do that. You know what I mean? I can't tell you this is the one silver bullet because it needs to be habitual, and only you can do that.
Now it comes in capsules with a natural wormwood in, so we don't have to taste it, really.
Well, there you go. If you can find a good source of wormwood, and it's what you want to do, then do it. There are so many methods that once you get into it, you're going to figure out a whole bunch of different ways. But just go ahead and Google it, and literally just put in colon cleanse on your phone or your computer, whatever, and it'll so many different ways will pop up. So many different people will talk about it, about the best ways to do it. I heard of a colon cleanse where you just drink salt water. It's a saltwater flush, and you drink water with lots and lots of salt into it. And you do that, I think 5-7 times a day. I can't remember, but saltwater flush. That's one of the ways people detox their colons.
And there's a seawater also that we can drink seawater.
Yeah, you could literally drink seawater, and it would.
Really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
All right, Liliana, I'm going to have to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, there are still 6 questions. So what we're going to do, Andrew, now, because it's the bewitching hour, and this may be one of our longest calls. So I'm going to ask you not to answer. The person can come greet, ask their question, and then we're going to mute them and go to the next so that we can get. I just get obsessive. I have to hear everybody. So we're going to hear each of the questions, and then you will answer all 6 at the end. Okay?
Okay. All right.
All right. That's the only way I can move it along. And what we'll do so that we can talk a little bit more about the Buster, we'll have you back. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Please ask your question. Hi. He's not going to answer your question because we're going to. Hi, Chris. I hear you.
Hi. Yeah, my question is about the contamination of food. It doesn't matter when I bring food home from the grocery store. As soon as I put food in and it's cold and I put it in the refrigerator, I hear these loud popping noises in my refrigerator. And then later, when I go to get in my refrigerator, there's like dew all over it, like it's been hit with heat or something. I'm just wondering, I've seen them, I've seen it where they hit the ketchup bottles and it turns the bottles a dark, dark red instead of bright red. I've seen it where they've taken the heat out of horseradish and darken the color. So my question is, what causes the popping noises that go directly into the refrigerator and the dew from it, and is that being contaminated?
All right, Chris. Andrew, don't answer. Chris, we're gonna hold your question, and he'll answer at the end. Please don't go anywhere. We're gonna mute you, and he'll answer the question. But it sounds like you need a new refrigerator. All right. Thank you for your question. What an interesting question. All right, thank you.
Hello.
All right, next caller, please. Hi.
Hello. Phenomenal call. Recommendation. I lose my attention span extremely fast. Andrew, you are phenomenal. Would you please consider having a conference call? Moving fast. Okay, cloning. Oh my God, what is the thing on the wall? Drew a blank. Oh, cloning, the hydro things, them things on the wall, nanos, what they put on the wall. What is it, Gogi? Hi.
Put on the wall.
They put on the wall. It's a form of a person. Hydro something. Oh wait.
Hydrogel.
No.
Hydrogel. You talking about hydrogel?
Them people. Them things. They're like clones that they make out of people, and it's a. I don't have my glasses. I got caught.
Oh,
anyway, it's a.
Okay. So,
it's a thing they put on the wall. They clone and they use nano. What's the best defense for that?
okay. We're gonna mute you, and he's gonna answer all at the end. Thank you for that, Sandrina.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. All right. Next caller, please.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Not feeling well tonight. I have these bugs. I've been fighting these bugs. I don't know what they are, but they're not really bugs. That they're in my hair. They eat through everything. I've used every kind of treatment. I've seen doctor after doctor. I've went to a lice specialist. It's not lice, but I cannot get rid of them.
Okay.
They are literally I don't know if you know what they are, or if you've heard of anybody else having them. They're infested in my hair though. It's not anywhere else.
Okay. So he mentioned them earlier. We're going to mute you and keep moving. Thank you for your question, and I think he's going to be able to answer that. Okay. So that's 3. Thank you so much. Next caller, please.
Hello, Gogi. Can you hear me?
How are you?
Hi. It's
Yes,
Connie
ma'am.
from LA. Yeah. Gogi,
Hi.
I want to make sure that we get some solutions, because when we take a bath, some of the bath water is contaminated. I'd like to find out if there's any solutions that Andrew might have for us to decontaminate the water, and what to use to detox our body.
Thank you for that, Connie. All
Okay.
right. So we'll answer at the end. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for that question.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Hi. How are you?
Hi. Yes. So, Andrew, thank you very much for the call. And I just had a quick question. Will this method, using the stun gun and doing the dry fasting and all the other things that you recommended, will that stop the B2K potentially?
Okay, so you're gonna hope he's not gonna answer right now. He'll answer in a minute. Please stand by.
Okay.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Good evening, Gogi. It's Carol from Massachusetts. My question is about, is any of these things safe for a child?
I'm sorry, does any of these things...
The zapper, can we use it for on a child with V2K.
Oh, the child. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your question. All right, we're going to mute you and he'll answer. All right. Next caller. Yeah. They're not like us. They're not like us. Oh, sorry. Okay. Here we go. Andrew, are you ready? That was our last
I'm ready.
question. That's what. Okay, cool. All right. So it's in no particular order. Does the stun gun, does it help V2K?
The stun gun does not help V2K. Well, yes, it does and it doesn't. The V2K weapon system is like a radio broadcast. As far as I can tell, it's interfacing with very minimal amount of nanotechnologies present. It does become more effective when you are more toxified. So if you do these things that we've talked about, you'll still have V2K, but it will affect you way, way, way less, to a point where it'll be like a distant sound, versus something screaming in your head.
Beautiful. Okay. The refrigerator. Put the food in the refrigerator. Everything's popping. The ketchup turns dark.
The ketchup turned. Yeah. That was a great. Okay, the popping is they're doing something during the break-in to make something refractive that they can access with directed energy weapons, similar to the way they access the implants in your body. Also, that's just the first part. The second part is what I was talking about earlier, actually. You're literally the person that's going through this. They have geo-fenced your refrigerator to guide particulate. That's the chemtrail weapon systems from the ground. All right? So one of your neighbors or something like that, excuse me, is releasing these particulates from the ground, and it's being guided into the airways, or I don't know exactly what they've got geo-fenced. I wouldn't know. Even if I was there, I wouldn't know. But either way, they're getting particulate inside your refrigerator, and it's bouncing around. The best thing to do, if you must continue, so the popping noise is separate. Okay, the popping noise is separate from your food being contaminated. Those are two different things that are happening simultaneously. The best thing for you to do is to not use that refrigerator. If you have to use that refrigerator, or if you leave again and you're afraid it's going to happen to your next refrigerator that you buy, what you can do is you can put your food in thick garbage bags. So 3 millimeter thick garbage bags. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that air can't get in there, and you seal that up. And you put it in your fridge. And that's going to stop the particulate from penetrating into your food, even if it's in your fridge.
Yeah, but you also, Chris, have to make sure that they can't get in your home. So if they can get in your home, that security tape, if you can use that security tape, that will void if they go in your bags, and then you will be able to call the police and make a report that somebody was in your house and went in your refrigerator and went in your food, and they don't want that. So, but you should double down and make sure that they cannot get in your home. So, but I agree that refrigerator is no good. They've painted it.
Yeah, and Gogi is right. That is the bigger concern, is not allowing them access to your home. Definitely the bigger security problem.
Yeah.
The bigger problem there.
Yeah. All right. Detoxing the water. Someone wants to know detoxing the water.
I have no solution for that. A lot of that's happening at the municipal level. Some of it is being directed specifically at targeted people's houses. They're spraying. I believe there's.
They will.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I believe they're spraying things on the outside of pipes, and these chemical agents are leaching through the pipes. But I'm not 100% on that.
Wow.
I guess.
Yeah. And sometimes I think I don't know how they find out which one is that goes directly to you, but they can drop stuff in there. But CDS detoxes the water, but I don't know if it detoxes it from the source. And if you put it in your tub, it'll detox the water. It'll neutralize the water, and you'll be in there. So it's interesting. I have to ask about that. But all right, so that's something that we will. That's above both of us. So we'll work on that one. I don't know what Sandrina was referring to in terms of the wall. Andrew, something hydrogel on the wall, something on the wall. I don't know. They put something. I know they would put something on the wall. I'm not sure what that is. So we'll hold that. When I get that question, I'll ask you. Can you use the stun gun on a child?
Theoretically, yes. It has not been attempted yet. That's all I can say about it right now without getting into my personal life. But from a theory standpoint, the EMP is so weak that it should not affect the child. But I'm not specifically sure. Okay. It shouldn't affect a hamster, just to put that in perspective. And you can use like if you put your phone over it, the only things that would be affected on the phone it depends on the stun gun, so I shouldn't say that. Don't put your phone in front of it. But I've already used it around electronics. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It depends on a lot of things that I can't control, but I've already used it around electronics, and the EMP wasn't even strong enough to affect them.
Okay.
But it definitely was strong enough to affect the implants. Yeah. Let's see, bugs. Okay. The bugs, I think, is the last one.
Oh, good. Good. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
The little biting bugs, I had the same thing happen to me. They're using, I believe, now I'm not 100%, I can never prove this, but I believe they're using weaponized bird mites. Bird mites are like very, very, very small spiders. It's the best way to think about it. Microscopic. And I believe what they've done is they have made those carriers of nanotechnology. So the idea is that if you spread bird mites or mites around someone, like we've all got mites, Demodex mites primarily in people's eyebrows. This is where people get them really bad. You can see it on people's faces when you study it. It kind of gets really gross, but I believe what they're doing is they're using a variant of that, some sort of Demodex mite or a bird mite. It's about the same type of thing. What these things do is they crawl on you and they bite. And because they bite, they make for the bird mites in particular, they make for great carriers of bioweapons, or what we've been talking about, nanotechnologies. You asked how to get rid of it. The best thing to get rid of it on you is, it's not a great answer, but it is what I know, shaving and oil. Oil and shaving is better than anything I know to get rid of any crap on you. But it sounds like you've got a bigger problem. You've got them in your environment. And I wouldn't know how to get rid of them in your environment unless I was there. And then you're getting into questions of apartments, all sorts of things like bedding, clothing, stuff I wouldn't be able to answer. But I could say this also, is that if you run a dehumidifier in your spaces, it will, and this truly is mites, then it will disable their function, their ability to move around. Insects need humid areas because they breathe through their shells. And when it's dry enough in an environment like your dehumidifier would do, then at some point mites can't function. Now, I don't know if you live in an area that could support that, because if you live in like Alabama or something, or like Louisiana or something like that, then I don't think you'll ever be able to get it dehumidified enough. Basically, anywhere that ticks naturally proliferate, you're going to have an issue with mites too. But mites are much smaller, so they're much more reactive to the environment. Figure out in your environment where it's coming from. And if you can do that, then a whole bunch of solutions present themselves, as long as you follow the path of dealing with super tiny insects. Now, it might not even be, this is the last part of this, it might not even be super tiny insects. It might be that you have a full-blown case of Morgellons. And when you get, which is the same stuff that we've been talking about, it's a thick shell of bioplaque on you. And what happens is underneath that bioplaque, sometimes there can be secondary parasitic invaders that can get underneath there. Again, mites. And they can proliferate in that biofilm and be continuously feeding on you. I know that's awful to hear, but again, oil and shaving will get that bioplaque off, will destroy the habitat if that's what's going on. And they'll stop bothering you. But I would guess you got it during a break-in.
And I would recommend diatomaceous earth, DE.
That's
which is what they use in the pool. Go ahead.
That's so fantastic that you said that, Gogi. No, that's perfect. Because I was thinking it the whole time and I just forgot to say it.
Yes, diatomaceous earth, DE. So it's what they use in the pool to like strain out even a piece of fine hair or anything. So you can use it in your hair. You can use it all over your body, all over. I get the food grade one, and I clean out my intestines and everything, dogs, pets, babies, kids, whatever. Diatomaceous earth is silica, which is in our body, and it's so, so good for us. I put it in my coffee. So I would recommend that for getting rid of the itchy bugs, or if they're bugs, it will kill them. It'll scale them from the inside out. It dries them out so well. It's so good.
Yeah, it cuts their shells up too when they move through it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fine. It feels like powder, like flour or something, but it's sharp. The the makeup is very sharp, so it scales them. Yeah. So Andrew, this has been wonderful. It's been sensational. Everybody has enjoyed you, and I have enjoyed you tremendously. We're going to do good things together, so everybody stay tuned. We're going to open up so they can say goodnight and say, whatever good things they want to say to you, and then we're going to take it from there. All right? So thank you so much for contributing, giving back to this community, and we look to catch up with you so that we can be have less contamination and have the less impact of this nonsense that we're going through. We're in a war, and we're being strategic about our moves. Unfortunately, they see everything and hear everything we're doing, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop us.
Yeah,
so
and thank you for your time, Gogi. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate coming on here. But a thing to remember about all of this is they're going through it too. Everyone that's listening to this, on the count, all the people attacking us with directed energy weapons, they're all going through it too. And it's us today, and it's them a little bit later. You know what I mean? It's
because
us today.
If they hear us, that means, yes, if they hear us, they're not the global elitists that plan on being the only ones that are thinking, moving, and enjoying life. You, like us, will have nothing and be happy. That's their goal for you. That's what they want for you. We're not going to be like that because we're fighting and we're doing everything we can. You don't want to help. A house divided against itself will not stand. Why would you help someone that's trying to destroy you? All right. So
anyway, they're getting paid. Sorry. Go ahead. They're getting paid, but the money's not going to go very far. It's not going to go very far in a technocratic hellhole. So we're all in this boat together. Yeah. And when they realize that this war is over, when we realize that this war is over, we have the power here, much more than they do, especially with what we were talking about tonight. Get those implants deactivated.
Let's do this. Everybody, we're going to get the ingredients. We're going to get the product ingredients, and we're going to make these, and we're going to help to create the weapons, create the counter for the weapons. All right? But, Andrew, thank you so much. You and having you here has one of the many shining stars of the jam. So thank you so much. All right. Guys, we're going to open up to say goodnight and show Andrew some love. Thank you for being here. Sorry it's so late, but we had to do it. And he's back. All right. Let's go. Let's open up.
Gogi and Andrew,
Gaji and Andrew, I know everybody's ready to go, but I do have one really quick question, if it's okay.
Sure. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Tranquility.
Tonight you mentioned that you use a TENS drive. What is the difference between a regular TENS unit and a TENS drive?
A TENS drive you can keep on for a very long time. The TENS units that you buy at Walgreens or whatever, they all shut off in 20 minutes.
Okay.
But always get a TENS drive.
Where can I find a TENS drive?
Any medical supply store should sell it.
Okay.
And then if you have to
TENS drive.
Yeah, you just ask for a TENS unit and they'll show you a drive. More often than not. The drive is exactly what you think of when you think of a TENS unit.
Okay, but I can wear it for a longer period of time.
You can keep it on. It's totally controllable by yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you.
How long can you keep it on? Like mine goes 90 minutes. Is it longer than that?
Yeah, it's forever. It's the one that you would get if you did physical therapy, the one they would let you borrow. And they cost anywhere from $20. You're welcome. TENS unit drives. They cost anything between $20 to $200, depending on the grade. The one I'm using right now costs $50, I believe, something like that.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Those are such good things. All right. Ready, Tranquility? I didn't hear you. Uh-oh. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Sorry it's so late. Hope you enjoyed the jam. I don't hear anybody.
God bless you, Andrew.
Thank you. God bless you, too.
And I think Sandrina was talking about Telegram.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Lots of stuff, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank you all. That's so nice. Appreciate it.
Andrew.
God bless.